And so we can know that words, we've already gone through this, words can be very harsh and can be very hurtful. Right? Buddha calls it verbal daggers. There's a sutta where the Buddha comes up to these monks, and it says that the bhikkhus were throwing verbal daggers at each other. They were, you're blah, 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 you're this, you're that, just being angry and yelling at each other. And so that's in the suttas, this is called throwing verbal daggers. And the Buddha basically looked at this and he says, I'm gone, see you later. And so he goes to another group, and he says, and he sees like there's all these monks and they're living together, calm and quiet, and they speak good words to each other and all these things. And he's saying, what do you do? What do you do that this is how you live? And they're saying like we practice and we come together to speak on the Dhamma, and we think if something needs to be done, we don't say, well, this person should do it or that person, we just do it, all these kind of things. And it's like, wow, yeah. It's like this is how you are able to get along without having to throw verbal daggers and all these kind of things. And so we know that speech can be harmful, but the Buddha also taught us how to deal with harmful speech. In the sutta, Kakachupama Sutta, it's the simile of the saw. It starts out where there's this monk, and this monk is really close with this bhikkhu is really close with these bhikkhunis, these female monastics. And people are being really mean to them and saying all kinds of stuff. And he gets really angry, and he goes after them, and he's yelling and hitting them and all these kind of things. And so the Buddha's advice is that if somebody says something, mean to you, to other people that you have that are dear to you, people are throwing verbal daggers. You should train thus. My mind shall remain unaffected, and I shall utter no evil words. And starting with that person, I shall abide the all-encompassing world with a mind imbued of loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment. So, today it's very easy. Somebody says something, you're a blank blank, right? Normally, what do we do? Instantly we get defensive, we get angry, and we just start going back at them, you're this, blah, blah, blah. And then it just goes and it gets worse, and you're throwing verbal daggers, and you're dodging, and you're throwing, and all these kind of things. And then it just gets worse and escalates. The Buddha teaches us to de-escalate, right? The Buddha is teaching us that he gives us this advice right then and there. Right? If somebody is saying these things, doing these things, don't let your mind go off, because that's when unskillful and harmful things start to happen, and nothing good comes of that. And so even at the end of that sutta, the more famous story, the more famous little parable, which is the sutta's named after, the simile of the saw, the Buddha says, even if so, he continues, not only if somebody says something, even if they were to throw clods at you or do something physical at you, your mind shall remain unaffected and you shall utter no evil words. And so the culmination of that sutta is, even if bandits were to take you and to saw you limb from limb, any one of you who were to have hatred in your mind is not practicing my teaching. Whoa, that's pretty serious. And here I was worried about just speech, right? So this is the Buddha recognizes that speech can be very damaging and very harmful, but he also advises us to train to not allow that speech to control us and to give us, to make our minds clouded and angry and aversive and all these kind of things. And so, to close out, right speech. Again, right speech is simply, it can sound like, you're in a situation, I'm like, oh, is this abusive speech? Is this malicious speech? Is this? All you can get all lost in these words. It's very simple to just think, is what I'm saying harmful? Or is it beneficial? And as you get better at it, first you think, okay, maybe it's beneficial, and then you do it and you realize, oh, it wasn't beneficial. Next time you do it better, and you keep analyzing, and you keep developing that habit, sila, habit, right? The habit of doing your best to live your life in where all your thoughts, words, and deeds are skillful and beneficial. Because not only does that benefit you, not only does it benefit your mind, but it benefits the people around you as well. Right? If you are peaceful and you speak calm and peaceful words and you speak the truth and people can trust you, well then people feel happy around you. People feel good around you. People know, like, oh, this person, they'll never curse me out, or they'll never be angry and yell at me, and all these kind of things. So be careful of using your words as verbal daggers.